All right, how do we do this? It's been a while. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That's Brock.
Hi.
Hi, I'm James. You don't even know. I'm like, oh. This is episode 134. It's been a long time coming. It's actually been 134 weeks since the last time we did an episode of the Rebel Scum podcast. Like I said, that's Brock. I'm James. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for finding us after it's been 2 months almost since our last. Actually, it's probably been 2 months since our last recording. Life kind of got in the way for a little bit,
it was summertime. What do you want from us?
we were on. I wish we were on vacation, but it was I could use a vacation. It's been a lot of fun. Coming out of the summer though, cool news. Today, I just read today, so maybe it happened. I guess it happened last night. Star Wars Resistance won the Saturn Award for Best Animated Series. Brock, you're all caught up with Resistance, right?
I believe so, but you know what? I was thinking when you told me just before we started that they got the award, I'm like, I really need to rewatch that show. I have the whole season on Google Play, but because we got it so sporadically in Canada, I'm just like, I can't remember exactly what happens and how it plays out. But I thought it was interesting because they were kind of growing to something. But Clone Wars, it's not quite there yet, but obviously.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll ever reach that level. I don't think it's meant to either. That's the thing that everybody forgets is I think it's not meant to. I'm only 4 episodes in. I started 4 episodes before the summer started, and I haven't continued. However, the reason why I didn't buy it, a season of it, was because of the nonsense they pulled with the last season of Rebels, where all of a sudden it's like, nah, Canada, you're going to be a week or two behind. And I was like, well, no, that's bullcrap. So I didn't buy it for that reason, out of spite. And also obviously it's going to be on Disney Plus, which I'm very excited to get. We'll be talking about that later on the show, of course. And it's too expensive in my mind, for me. Anyway, I'm cheap. That's how I am. It's like $40. That's right. 40, 30, $30.
No, I don't think it's that high. I could look it up.
Do you think it's weird that when they released the physical copy of it, they only released it on DVD and not Blu-ray?
Did they really do that?
Yeah, they did that for real.
First of all, I don't buy a Blu-ray or a DVD. I don't even buy the Star Wars Blu-rays. I buy the digital download.
Yeah.
That's how quickly we flipped.
Yeah,
that's weird, though. Is it one of those things where you don't get a full season? It's like a half season or like 5 episodes?
No, I believe it's the entire... No, it's the first season. I'm pretty sure it's the first season. The entire first season is out on Blu-ray. The trailer, I gotta say, our top 5 things that we were excited for that happened while we were gone for the summer. Yeah. That trailer for season 2 looked wild, I thought.
Season 2 trailer. Did I watch it? I think I watched it.
It's been a while. It takes place in between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker.
What?
And Kylo Ren's in it. Let me just...
Right, I remember Kylo Ren being...
Yeah, Kylo Ren's in it. He's like, I am Kylo Ren. Yeah. Kylo Ren, who I'm looking forward to. He's got his mask back. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe that's somebody else in the mask. We don't know. It could be anybody. But the action figures with the mask all say Kylo Ren. So that's one hell of a false marketing job if it's not Kylo Ren. How excited, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for the rise of the Skywalker?
Oh, I'm very excited. I mean, that new trailer, funny enough, both trailers, or teaser trailers, or whatever you want to call it, I was at work both times they came out. Like, the morning the second one came out, you were just like, you sent me something, I'm like, what is this? He's like, did you not see the trailer? I'm like,
yeah.
Oh! Like, I was in the middle of a meeting or whatever, so I couldn't stop and whatever, be a nerd. But both times I was with colleagues, and they were just like watching me like this, like, wow, look at him. He's an experience. I should have videotaped it, because when I can't remember what moment was. It wasn't the lightsaber. I mean, I reacted to the double-sided lightsaber.
3PO?
No, because that was the picture you sent.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like, ready for it. But there was a moment where I was like, oh! And I was in a convention hall, so it just... I can't remember, but it was a great trailer. Yeah, and the same thing happened. Like I remember when the first one came out, I was like, at the very end where you start to see the Starscape and the titles was like, tell me the title. Tell me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was great. I think I said this to you, but like if they were to not give us any more trailers, I would be content because it's just like, what, like because there's so many new things, but like there's so many more questions. It's like what is this? What is that? What is this? But like visually, it looks beautiful. Like the shot with all the Star Destroyers in the sky, like cool.
Yeah, oh man. So that trailer came out. I sent it to you guys. You didn't see it, obviously. You were working. I sent it to the one that I like to bring up all the time. My dad, who does not like Force Awakens or Last Jedi or Solo. But he loves Rogue One and he loves the originals and the prequels. Mm-hmm. And I sent it to him, and he said, "I guess I need to watch the one where Han dies again." That's what he said. I like the first time though. He's like, "When are we getting tickets?" So I think it goes to show that even people that might not have been happy or enjoyed what they've seen so far, this one is there's still the element of it's Star Wars and something cool is going to happen here, and we've got to watch this movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I am super psyched for it, quite honestly. But I'm always excited for Star Wars. So
I thought the way they did it was cool too. Where it was like original trilogy, prequel trilogy, sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Did you find the order like intriguing at all? Like instead of going chronological, they want to release.
No, I didn't notice that. I was just sort of saying like, oh, they hit you in the feels like immediately off the bat. Sure. So you're just like, you're already like primed and ready, and then bam, like this. And so I didn't notice that, but yeah, I guess it's a good point because it starts off with the OG, right? So
yeah, and I brought this up with Andrew on the Unleashed we did right after was, the other thing too is when you watch it, I feel like everything they put in that highlight reel, sizzle reel, trailer, whatever you want to call it, is there intentionally. Like everything we see was there for a purpose. And when we got to Revenge of the Sith, the first thing we see is Mace Windu with his purple lightsaber striking down Palpatine.
Right.
I thought like, and I was like, and that struck me. I was like, oh, like of all the shots you chose from that movie, you went with Mace Windu. Mm-hmm. And I don't necessarily think that's going to tie into the Rise of Skywalker at all, but part of me is like, I hope so. Like, are they reminding us of, hey, there's more than just the main core. There was also Mace Windu. He tried to kill the Emperor the first time around. Remember that.
Yeah. I mean, that it works into, they just released, they're in Marvel Comics, I've been mentioning them, they've been doing the Age of Republic, Age of Rebellion, Age of Resistance, and they just released the new Resistance ones, and they did Poe Dameron, they did General Hux, they did Snoke, which I got all those three. I haven't read all of them. I haven't read Rose or Rey or.
Have you read Snoke?
I've read Snoke, and the reason I bring it up is because there's a theory now that it's revealing how Palpatine saved himself. Because in the beginning you see Snoke and Kylo Ren training. Spoilers if you want to read it, but like it's been out for a week, so whatever. He throws it. He's like Snoke is like got Kylo hovering over like this like chasm with rocks at the bottom, like all stalagmite jagged rocks, and then drops him. And he's like, use your fear, and Kylo stops himself by using the fear just like inches away from the rock. And now people are like, oh, that's how he'll save himself. Because even if you surprised the Emperor and he was scared, his like if Kylo's a student learning at this time, maybe a Sith master that's been trained for years could stop it. So like, I don't know if I believe that, but
okay,
I mean, I guess you could bring that back to what you call him, Mace Windu. It's like,
yeah.
If you're strong enough in the Force, you just react. You could save yourself.
Well, I'm not saying I don't hope Mace Windu's alive in this one. If Mace Windu was ever to be alive, I would hope it'd be on Disney Plus. We'd find out like through a Kenobi series or through I don't
Oh,
know, like a Darth Maul series or something like that, where you're just like, oh, he's like some old dude who's like just anyway. But I'm glad you read that comment, because I've heard a lot of talk, a lot of chatter on the Twitters about it. Some people absolutely love it and will die by it, and other people are like, meh, it's okay. So what were your overall thoughts of that one?
It was good. I've said it before. Reading all this extended universe, the books and the comics, it's like they're great, but they can only go so far, right?
Yeah.
Because they want to do the movies first, and like maybe now with all these new new projects coming up, it won't be like, okay, the original trilogy came out, we're not going to make another movie, therefore we can start writing books and filling in gaps and stuff like that. But it's interesting because you get to see more of a training relationship between Kylo and Snoke, and they end up going to Endor, and he goes into the cave. So it's like, that's pretty interesting to say the least.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I saw some of the images of that. Do you think that's where Dark Rey is?
I don't know. Because, well, if that comic is canon, the cave isn't there anymore. So
oh, well.
Not to spoil it.
Well, what were your thoughts on Dark Rey? Like, do you think Dark Rey we're going to see Rey's going to turn to the dark side, which obviously, if you show it in the trailer, anyway. I mean, it could be a temporary thing. Do you think she's possessed by Shmi? Do you think she turns to the dark side? Do you think that's a clone of Rey? Do you think all Sith troopers are clones of Rey? Do you think the Knights of Ren are clones of Rey? What do you think?
Oh, that's interesting. But then that just sounds like Terminator Salvation, where it's just like, oh, here's another Terminator. When I see it, I continue to think it's like this is some kind of like alternate dimension, like Force Dream or Force Nightmare or something like that. I don't hate it. Like, if you can sell me on Rey going evil, cool. I'm all for it, because there's going to be a time jump, correct?
It's a year, I believe, a year and a half or so.
Yeah. Okay, that's not too bad. I don't know. Maybe you could even maybe it's even the time jump doesn't start, or did they say the time jump starts the movie, or they just said there's going to be a year? What if they go on a mission to find the Death Star, all this stuff, because you know how Star Wars always in the last few years they like to only show the first half of the movie in a trailer. Yeah. What if all that stuff starts in the beginning? So they go on a mission and they end up going to the Death Star or whatever, and then Kylo and Rey have this battle, and then a year passes. So something happens where they do that flip, and like in that year, Rey becomes evil and Kylo becomes. I like that. I could again, like, I don't want to. I keep saying that, like, making her evil after spending 2 movies to make her a Jedi or whatever you want to call it seems like confusing. But I don't know.
I think after The Force Awakens, I said this when we saw that first trailer, the final trailer for The Force Awakens, when she was shooting the gun. I always bring this up where she has some anger in her, some evil in her.
Yeah.
And I was really hoping for that in The Force Awakens. And then when you watch the movie, you go down a different path. And after The Last Jedi, you still are traveling down a different path. And I'm just there's a few things that have me curious about this right now. And there's Kylo, there's Rey, and there's Shmi. J.J. Abrams at Celebration said to Stephen Colbert he wanted to find out what happens when these two sides have to come together to fight something bigger. I'm paraphrasing, but he said something like that. And then Colbert was like, what are you talking about? And he goes, eh. And then, of course, in that trailer, we heard the laugh of the Emperor.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious what... So we know, like, based on that, we know that at some point Kylo and Rey are going to have to team up to fight.
Right.
Or maybe it's not Kylo and Rey. Maybe it's Knights of Ren and Rey. Maybe it's Hux and Rey. We don't know. It's whatever. And also, I don't know. I think I told you, but I'm done. Like, anytime I see a leak or a spoiler, I'm over it. I'm like, don't send it my way. I'm totally over this. I don't want to see it. I want to go in with my own thoughts now. So just show me, like, whatever Disney releases, that's what I will look at. Anything that's not released by Disney or Lucasfilm, I'm not going to go that way. So maybe what I'm saying people already know is wrong, all right? But like that has me reeling. So Does Kylo Ren decide to fight Rey because he knows the Palpatine is the villain? Does Rey get turned by Shmi and then Kylo's like, we have to bring her back, and then he kind of goes in to get her like that? Or like, is that just a Force vision that Rey sees her future? Because we know that there are JJ right in The Force Awakens gave us Force backs, but some of them might have been future, right? So what if this is another one of those visions that she sees, and it's just a brief second in the movie, but we see it. So that's what really makes me curious about Darth Rey, is what aspect of the movie is that going to play into?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a very possible storyline, because we see Last Jedi where Luke's talking about how, like, oh, how you thought the Jedi and the Sith is not true. Like, you're listening to legend and myth, and it's not as rose gold as you would think. Like, it's not black and white. There's just so much hidden away and all that. So, like, perhaps we can bring that back up with, like, having, oh, the girl that you thought was the main hero, perhaps she's a villain. Or it's not so much she's a villain, she's exploring the dark side because she needs it for that time. I don't know. I can see that working. But yeah, like, I like you liked that part in Force Awakens where it looks like she is using her anger to be more powerful, and like I like that concept, because it's just like, you can be angry and then whatever. It's just sort of like, what is right and what is wrong. You set rules. Like, when you set these rules, does that make it worse? You know what I mean? So that's where there's a disillusionment. So I could see that. I don't know. I think that's why I'm so psyched about this movie. There's just, like, you could really go anywhere. Like, and we're just seeing visuals. We're not hearing any story.
And that's the thing. Like, they can take this in any direction they want.
Yeah.
Because, and you know, the argument after The Last Jedi was, well, now what do you do? And that's the fun of this, is like, yeah, what do you do? They figured something out. They're doing something. Yeah. They're going to tie, you know, they're going to somehow tie this all together, whether or not it ties to the Phantom Menace or not. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely going to tie to The Last Jedi, and I think it's going to tie to Return of the Jedi as well. I think there are going to be ties to those two. Vader's helmet. There's not a lot of talk. It kind of flashed and then went away, but Vader's helmet makes a resurgence in this one.
Right.
It appears once again. Do you think Palpatine has been talking to Kylo through that helmet all these years? Do you think Anakin, the voice of Vader, is talking to him? I'm still I never really liked the Darth Vader Force Ghost, because he was redeemed. He became a Jedi at the end. He saved everybody, and then he was a Force Ghost at the end of Return of the Jedi. So I think the Vader Force Ghost, with him shifting back and forth, was a little much. If they do it, we'll see how it plays out in the movie. But on its surface, from just hearing the idea, I'm like, it kind of takes away from the ending of Return of the Jedi.
Perhaps. I don't know. I think we've said this before. It's like, Anakin is the chosen one. But perhaps the chosen one, his destiny is to destroy the Jedi Order the way he does. And that's why to restore order to the galaxy, he has to almost destroy both sides, right? And he helps destroy the Jedi Order, but then he also stops the Emperor. So the only way to stop the Emperor is to become his servant. Perhaps that's a good value to, like, why he's a Force Ghost in Return of the Jedi. So it's like, this was what it meant. And then that relates back to what we were saying. It's just sort of like, it's not good and evil. It's just like, this is how, like, or good and evil wants to be reestablished because what the Jedi and Sith put in place was like, this is wrong. So I think it could work. I get what you're saying, though, because it's like, for the longest time, we're like, Return of the Jedi, the end. It's done. There's no more story. Like, they just tell a new Star Wars story, because the galaxy continues to exist. But, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I think, you know, when you were saying that, I just realized, because everybody's always like, how did Anakin learn how to become a Force Ghost in such a short amount of time? That's like, but what you just said, maybe he never had to learn it. Maybe his destiny was always
Yeah.
just to become a Force ghost because he was the chosen one. I like the idea. There's this new book. I think it's a kid's book. I'm not really sure, but it's from the perspective of Luke Skywalker, and he says since Return of the Jedi until now, until he cut himself off from the Force, he had been conversing with the Force ghosts of Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Yoda. He says that in that book. So there is something going on there with all three of them. Obviously, Yoda's the only one that showed up. And I think you can get away with bringing in Hayden Christensen. I do agree with Rian Johnson a little bit about Obi-Wan because it wouldn't be Ewan McGregor. It would be like you'd have to get Ewan McGregor, but the Force ghost we know is Alec Guinness. So do you make him look like Alec Guinness? Like, how would you go about that? So I think that's a little bit tricky. And then would people buy into it? And I think they would. I think there's... I don't think we're going to see Obi-Wan in Episode 9 in The Rise of Skywalker. I don't think we're getting Obi-Wan. I'm really leaning towards Anakin showing up in some capacity, though.
I mean, Rise of Skywalker. Might as well put another Skywalker in there, right?
Yeah. All right. I got to ask you this is the deep question. This is why everybody's watching the show right now. Which Skywalker rises?
I don't think it's like there's going to be a Rise of Skywalker. I think it's talking about what that family did. You know what I mean? So Anakin being born and then becoming who he was, and then Luke and Leia being born, and then I guess maybe throw Ben in there as well. I love how people keep talking about it as like, oh well, he is Skywalker blood. Like, when has blood ever been important in it? Well, midichlorians. But you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it sounds like I think it's the Game of Thrones effect. It's like, oh, that guy's a bastard, or this is your trueborn son, or whatever. Like, because you have the same blood. I'm like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think outside of midichlorians, I don't think blood has ever been a go-to metaphor for anything. Right? I don't know.
No, but I think they just mean like the bloodline. Like he is a Skywalker, related to Skywalker, which some people are arguing that he's not.
Perhaps like it's like Rise of Skywalker. I know it's sort of a stretch because usually the title has something to do with it. It happens in the movie, but like I don't know. It's perhaps this is Palpatine's plan. Maybe it's referring to Palpatine's plan because they're like, oh, he has a plan. So it's like, oh, I call it the Rise of Skywalker. I'm like, yeah. Okay.
Well, this is the question that I have because it's like when we start the Skywalker saga, we meet Anakin Skywalker on Tatooine, and we meet his mother Shmi Skywalker. As far as I know, her name is Shmi Skywalker, right? Like, unless she's not a Skywalker and they just made up the name for Anakin, I don't know.
Yeah.
There was no father. Watto's last name was not Skywalker. I don't know who the slave owner before Watto was, but I don't think that was. So where does the name Skywalker come from?
Yeah.
Who gave Shmi the name Skywalker?
Right.
Is Shmi the very first Skywalker? Did Sheevy create Shmi, thus creating Anakin? Blah 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 blah. Like, is the Skywalker bloodline all just a hoax put on by Palpatine to trick the Jedi to take so that he can have? It's a really convoluted plan to take over the galaxy and rule it as an emperor. Like, Shmi is a question mark now. I don't know if she never was until now. When you're like, because that is the beginnings of it all. And of course, C-3PO is the first child of Anakin. Let's not forget
that. That's true. And he has red eyes.
Yeah, he has the Sith eyes.
Yeah, no, I can get behind that. I'm really getting tired of talking about clones, though. You know what I mean? It's sort of like...
I didn't say anything about a clone.
No, I know, but you were saying like maybe Palpatine created Shmi. It's like, can we stop? I mean, he could do it
with maybe like the Force, though. Like,
yeah, I don't hate that, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, because you even said before, it's like, was our Sith troopers clones of Rey, which is not a terrible idea. Like that's fun, but I don't know. It's like we keep going back to the same well, especially after Force Awakens, where they're like, was it Kylo Ren? No, Kylo Ren's like, we could have just had a clone army.
Yeah.
This is what happens. It's like, oh no, we have this program that we created was good. because da 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 da. But yeah, I think you're right. Like it would be nice to know where. Like the question we were always trying to find out is like how does Shmi become pregnant with Anakin? Like if there's no father. I mean, we've gotten somewhat of an answer in the Darth Vader comic, but it's so ambiguous in my opinion that I don't know.
And I don't think that's necessarily something we need an answer to.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, we didn't 20 years ago when the Phantom Menace came out. You know, you just accept it. You're like, oh, okay, it's virgin birth. Got it. We get it.
He's Jesus.
but when you say this is the end of the Skywalker saga and you put all this emphasis on Skywalker, on the name Skywalker, all of a sudden you got to look back and be like, well, what's up? Like, what is up? And I'm really looking forward to that plan. I have did I tell you my new idea for how I think this movie's going to end?
I don't think so.
I'll tell you off camera. I don't want to say it on camera. I told a few people last week because everyone knows I wanted to end with R2 being shut down for the last time. And
yeah.
I kind of said this on the Never Tell Me the Odds this week, where I do want it to end on Tatooine with R2 looking up and him being shut down where the twin suns are setting, and it's the last Iris out. I think that would be poignant. It won't happen because if I thought of it, it's just not going to happen. Let's be honest. They've got something bigger planned, and that is it ends with Watto and Rey gets sold to Watto. What if it ends with Ben Skywalker? Hear me out. Kylo Ren gets redeemed. He's like, I am Ben Skywalker. Bah, 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 bah. And he moves to Tatooine. Hear me out. And he's like, I'm gonna do this. And he starts his new life, but he's like, I need a worker. And he gets Blotto, the grandson of Watto, to be his slave. Full circle.
I think I heard you said this. What if, to save the galaxy, Rey has to go back in time, and she is actually Shmi Skywalker, and it's just cyclical.
Well, there is I think theories going around that she is the Shmi reincarnated. I don't know how that works or why, but that is the theory. I think Daisy really did say that at the end of this movie, the title will make complete sense, which is good because that's kind of what you want. I guess. I don't know. I'm just super excited.
I question if we need to know who Shmi is. Like you just said. It's because then you and I, like, oh yes, answers, correct, hooray. But I don't want to spend 20 minutes explaining to my parents who that character was.
No, but I mean, like, was she chosen by ShiVP? Like, in that respect, you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Why Shmi? Why Shmi?
Even if you don't even show the character, you just say Darth Vader's mother. I think people that aren't avid Star Wars fans are still going to be like, what?
Yeah, I just think when you're calling it Skywalker, like you said, you should have more Skywalkers in it. And if you're wrapping up a 9, I think what J.J. Abrams was saying was he's got to wrap up this trilogy, this movie, and a 9-part saga. And so how do you do that?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's not my job. I don't make millions of dollars. You do, J.J. Abrams, so make it. I'm excited, though, whatever happens.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm excited. I'm a little bit sad, too, because it's like, are we ever going to get more Skywalker in Star Wars? And I know that doesn't sound like a big deal, but up until this point, Star Wars has been about Skywalkers. It's been a soap opera, essentially, about this Star Wars, your favorite word, the Star Wars Skywalker bloodline. Yeah. That's what it's been. It's been that soap opera. So when they deviate from that, I'm really curious what's gonna reel us back in. If there's you gotta think with this Benioff and Weiss trilogy and even the Rian Johnson one, there's gotta be some connective tissue, doesn't there?
Yeah. Oh, I think so for sure. Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, we want more stuff with Jedi, right? So just give us something. I don't know. Like, I feel like we'll have a better handle of it once we can start watching The Mandalorian.
Oh, I can't
I,
wait.
I know, like, it's not, but I feel like even if it doesn't show any Jedi, it's like it's going to set like a status quo of how exactly we're gonna tell stories. Like, so I don't know how it all will connect. It, you know what? I'm just excited to watch The Mandalorian because it's like you have all this cast and you don't know who they are or whatever.
How do you feel about it being released weekly?
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody loves binge watching, but like, one, we have a show that would be very good if we didn't have to watch an entire season in a day and then do reviews. It's nice. I don't care what you say. I love streaming video just like the other person. I'm ready to sign up for every possible streaming service you can give me. But like, there's nothing wrong with the episodic. Look at what will make this more popular is because of how huge Game of Thrones was.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So like, yes, take away the commercials, take away like having to watch it at a specific time. That's fine. That's what people want. I just want to watch when I want to watch. But like, we have to rethink the formula, but it doesn't mean you have to erase everything. So week to week is great because maybe it's nice to watch one thing as a whole, but I think you lose a little bit of how much you like a show if you don't give time to digest what you watch. You know what I mean? Like,
especially like, because I watch a few shows. Stranger Things is one of them, and it's all here for you. And I think season 2 benefited from that more than season 1 and 3. But the thing with season 3 is you watched it, and I watched it like later, but you're like, I watched it all in a weekend. I was like, well, so we can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like the weekly, you're like, okay, we can talk. And actually earlier, like a month or so ago, I was saying to Aaron, I'm like, we need to find a show that we watch like weekly, like we used to, where it's like 9 p.m. Thursday, this is what we're watching. And we kind of do that already with the greatest show of all time, Riverdale. It's funny because that's like a weekly show, and we'll watch it. We watch it kind of reluctantly, but we watch it, and then sometimes we'll miss a few, and then we could watch 2 at a time if we want. But I was thinking about that. I'm like, well, that I actually kind of like the weekliness of it because, like, I'm not someone that, even with video games and stuff, I like to sit in front of my TV for a certain amount of time, and then I'm done with my TV for a while. Like, that's just me. And even watching shows like Stranger Things that I love, I watch 2 episodes. I'm like, okay, I need to not sit here right now. I need to go somewhere and go for a walk for like 2 hours, and I'll come back and I'll watch another one. Like, that's just a personal thing. So I'm excited for the weekliness of The Mandalorian. Plus, like you said, we get to come on here and talk about it now, and we'll have an entire week to discuss the show and discuss what's going to happen maybe in the next show and talk about that. And I think Game of Thrones, it's that water cooler stuff, right? Like, it's the water cooler show. You're like, oh, did you see what happened? You're saying, yeah, sure, it's not going to be... I mean, maybe it drops at midnight on November 12th. I'm sure the first one will. Maybe they'll be like, you know what, 12 p.m., every day or every Tuesday you'll get it, whatever it is they decide. I don't know. It's probably just going to be midnight. But we'll all be like, oh, it's out today. We got to watch it today. And then we'll watch it at our own leisure. And then we could talk about it. And then next week, same thing. And I think it's going to be fun. I'm really excited for the future of Star Wars on the streaming service because I think people don't read anymore. This is what people don't really read. But the other thing too is I said this in Rogue One, is when they introduced the Kyber crystal in Rogue One. That was a moment where you're like, okay, Kyber crystals exist now to the mass audience. They didn't before. They were not in any movies. No one, like, it's got to be theatrical, and I think Disney Plus is going to be pretty much on the same level as the theatrical stuff. So when you introduce something in The Mandalorian, Benioff and Weiss, Rian Johnson, they could take that and use it in the future because they'll be like, well, people know what it is. But if you put it in a book, people won't know what it is. And I think that's an advantage that they're going to have with Disney Plus. And I think it's really, really going to help grow the lore of Star Wars to a broader audience.
I think this is a new era of streaming because it's just nothing has really existed prior to this in the streaming like Star Wars. So it's like I think it's going to have a new vibe to it, right? Because you watch a lot of stuff on Netflix and binge it, and then you never watch it again.
Yeah.
Like very rarely do I rewatch anything these days, which is
Absolutely.
that says a lot. Because like back in the day when you just watched whatever you could watch, you know. But with Star Wars, I don't know. It's like I think it's gonna be different because it's uncharted territory, right? Like it's like you know, Daredevil and Luke Cage and Iron Fist. Those shows were like, oh, this is interesting. Or even like Titans now, Swamp Thing. It's like, oh, this is fun. But I don't think it holds a candle to Star Wars. So there's such a authority that like, oh, we're making a show and it's gonna be about this. It's like. People will take notice. At least people like us will take notice. But it's, you know, it's every time I think about Disney Plus, it's like this is genius. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's like putting out new content but bringing back old content. So you're hitting the nostalgia, and then then you're taking away from Netflix those big things like Star Wars and Marvel and Disney, and it's like, well, yeah.
I know a few people that always said that they're canceling Netflix right away, and it's like,
I think that's a little.
Here's my problem with Netflix. It's and I've said this before. It's too damn expensive now. It's like $15 a month.
Right.
Like, I'm not, and for me, I'm not getting my value out of my $15 because they're.
That's fair.
Because they're. I don't know if I'm gonna. I didn't say I'm gonna cancel it yet. Actually, I did, and then Erin's like, yeah, and then she agreed, and then she's back there. But like, I don't know if I'm getting my $15 a month of value because the Netflix original movies. I don't want to put anything down, but they're not very good. They're just like, they're pretty much not good. Their shows, I don't watch a lot of them. Like, I watch Stranger Things and I watch Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Shut up. Those are literally the two things I watch. So it's like, is that worth $15 for me? My argument
Well,
is,
you make a
for me,
valid
no.
point. My dad has made this argument for the last like 15 years of, you know, having like satellite or cable or digital cable, whatever you want to call it. Digital cable, I guess, is the most current term. He pays all this money and there's barely anything. Like the movie channels, like TMN now called Crave in Canada, he's like, I've seen all these movies. But that for him, it's like he only wants to watch a certain amount of things, and then that's it. So it's like, why do I pay for all these TV channels I don't watch? It's so, and you can't win because I don't watch procedurals, you know, or dramas like my parents do, like Blue Bloods or the Good Fight or The Good Wife or what's the new?
Something's good.
You know, like the Dick Wolf era. I love Law and Order, but I don't watch it. But like they do, they have to watch that stuff. And then they have PVR and they never use it. Like it's you can't win, so it's just like you might as well just put it all out. But because like for me, I'd rather buy 4 or 5 different streaming packages and then not have regular cable, or at least have like a on-demand channel for regular things, because I watch a few things like reality TV and like that. But I'm totally down to have Netflix, Disney Plus, if I could, probably the Warner Brothers thing, and in Canada, Crave. And it's like, I'd be more than content. But
yeah, I was contemplating to get the Nickelodeon one. Just it's $6 a month, and you can watch all the Ninja Turtles you want.
Oh, and then you got Prime Video, which I was saying to you earlier this week. If you have a Fire Stick, Netflix is on there. Like all this, like for us in Canada, there's like CBC Gem, CTV, and all those channels are making more and more of those streaming things. Like it's normal cable is kind of done, but it's being replaced by just a new. It's the same idea. It's like it's a different packaging. Here you go.
That's the thing. It's different packaging, and it's at your leisure. It's when you want it, you get it. Not like I have my satellite thing. I have a website I can go to, and I can watch anything that's already aired. And then I just I hook my computer up to my TV. Basically, I hit play, and I can watch anything that's already aired or live. I can't watch anything that's going to come up in the future, but anything that has already aired, and I got it all. So the reason why I ended up not getting that Nickelodeon was because I could watch it all there. I realized all these shows, like everything is there. So it's and you do have to watch, I think, 2 commercials every commercial break. I think you get like 1 or 2 commercials.
They drop it in. Same commercial over and over again, right?
Oh my God, there's this one, The Real Housewives of some place I've never heard of, and I'm just like, oh good Lord. It's like, come on, man. Oh.
He likes big butts, and I cannot lie. Oh, I've heard it several times.
Okay, good. It is the worst.
My wedding.
It's the worst. Every time it comes on, I just turn down and I'm like, Aaron, and you can't fast forward the meal. I'm just like, oh God, it's the worst. Anyway, Star Wars is ruling the galaxy. So I got just one hot topic before we get to the odds, because it's going long. Bendemption has really crept up lately. You haven't always been on that train.
Yeah.
Are you on that train? And side Akbar, if somebody said to you, I really want Kylo to get redeemed, would you disregard their opinion?
No, because I don't want to be that guy. I'd be like, okay, cool. Why? I'd be like, oh, that's cool. Do you like Kylo Ren? Or, I'd maybe engage or whatever. Is there something new about Bendemption?
Oh, yeah, I don't want to get into it too much, but yeah, the thing is, there are people that want Kylo Ren to get redeemed.
Sure.
And I'm not necessarily one of them. Again, to quote our good friend Aaron Quinton, if it serves the story.
Yeah.
But if there's a reason for him to get it, that's fine. However, I'll say this: there are a lot of people out there that do want him to get redeemed, and they have very strong, valid arguments for that and points for it. And yeah, that's all. I think part of what makes it fun is you could say, I don't want Shmi in the movie, and I could say I do want Shmi in the movie, and who cares? At the end of the day, why? That's not even an argument. It's a movie. We're talking about a movie. If Kylo Ren gets redeemed, he gets redeemed. If he doesn't, he doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some stuff was going on, and I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Why are you? And it's like these attacking motions at people. It's just, as I told you before we got on, I'm like, sometimes the Star Wars community, and it's not like the bulk of it, but there's that outside rim that's high school, and they're like, whoa, let's go to the smoking pit and make fun of all the art students. Like, oh God. Anyway, do you want to go to the odds?
Let's do it.
It's never tell me the odds.
Ooh, wow, it's been so long.
Yeah, I know. What are odds? We do them every week. Today's odds are brought to us by our Patreon supporters. Thank you everybody on Patreon. I'll go first for do you have the list in front of you, Brian? Yep. All right. We got Heidi Feder, Barry Brophy, Dennis Allen, Christine Allison, Mary Christenathan, Jeff Wilson, Aaron Quinton, Al Schuler,
Phil Staniforth, JRB Nerdcast, Scott D, Jacob Nixon, Andy Higgins, Mason Hope, Matt W, Tony Comstock, FP, and Denim Nerds.
Not the Denim Nerds.
Denim
Nerds. Yeah, that's our Patreon. You can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/rebelscum podcast. More content will be coming. It was a rough summer. Let's just say that.
Yeah, you cool for the summer? Cool for the summer. Wait, what's the first odd?
Today's odds are, like I said, brought to us by Patreon, but they are all supplied to us by our good friend Dennis Allen.
Oh, wow.
He's got 4, so we're going to pick 3 of them. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. The odds of Sidious only being a minor role in the film, but major in the grand scheme. He says 75% for him. What do you say, Brock?
So he's not the main villain, but he's a vital plot point.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to go high too, 80%, because it's just I don't really have a desire to see Palpatine again. So, but if it's a good story, it's a good story, right?
I'm going to go 49%. 49.2.
Man.
Here's why. I think he's going to be in it. I think he predominantly will be the underlying thing in all of it. However, I do think he's going to pop up more than we all anticipate him popping up.
Okay.
I called JJ yesterday. He told me he will be played by Matt Smith. That's still the weirdest. If he shows up in the movie, I'm still going to be like,
Yeah.
Anyway, he has no connection to Star Wars. The odds of Rey falling, we kind of talked about this earlier, falling to the dark side.
I gotta have to go full Brock on this, James. That was the whole odd, right?
Yes.
I gotta have to go full Brock because it's just like there's so much unforeseen, and it's just like we can't just say, oh, she's evil just because she looks like a Sith at the end of that trailer. Like,
yeah, I think that if they're going to show that in the trailer, they're not going to go that direction for long. He's going 5%. I'm going to go. You know what? I'm going to make a claim here. I'm going to say at some point in the movie she will fall to the dark side, even if momentarily.
Sure.
And if she ends up being a Skywalker, she will have a limb chopped off. Could you imagine? She just looks like, I'm a Skywalker. Ah!
It become like Rocky Horror Picture Show where people just start throwing mannequin arms at the screen.
Yeah. Hold on, I accidentally touched the touchscreen. So did I give an odd?
He said 5%. You said, yeah, I don't know what you said. I don't think you did.
I'm gonna go 47.3.
Okay, fair.
We'll save the next one for next one. The odds of 3PO being uploaded with Mr. Bones' red eyes.
Oh,
he said,
that would be great. No one would get it.
No, 20% for him, and he hopes 100%. Hey, look, Snap is back. Snap is back.
Yeah. Oh my god, that would be awesome.
Would be
I'm gonna go 75% because I just like that would be crazy. No one would get it. But we'd be like, oh, I haven't even read those books, but I just know about them.
Mr. Bones is an underutilized character.
Oh yeah.
And I think spoiler alert, I think he dies in the last one. Am I wrong?
I don't know. I didn't read it, but they bring him up in I think the Poe Dameron thing where
maybe he's
get
not
a
dead.
droid to cooperate and Snap like loads Mr. Bones into this droid.
Maybe
so like, droids live forever, I guess. In a sense.
They would have to, but it'd be like it's kind of like L3 living inside the Falcon, I guess.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go 37% because I want it to happen, but it's not gonna happen.
I would jump out of my seat if they just mentioned if Snap in his one scene in the movie just like, oh, Mr. Bones, what would you do? Or just saying something like Mr. Bones. I'd be like, oh.
The excitement level is through the roof. Speaking of excitement level, we've got some Holo news.
Holo news. The news you need to know. Let's see what's in the news today. This is kind of an old story, but I think it's important that everyone knows it. The TSA, a couple of weeks ago, I don't think they announced it, but it became like a report. The Coke products from Galaxy's Edge was not approved by TSA because when scanned, it kind of looked like some kind of explosive device in your luggage. So people bringing back the Coke products on planes were getting them taken away. But recently, I think last week, they have changed and allowed that you can fly with the soft drink bottles shaped like thermal detonators in their luggage. There's a report. Replica and inert explosives aren't allowed in either carry-on or checked bags was the original report. But last week they said, we have completed our review and instructed our officers to treat these as an oversized liquid instead of an explosive. So perhaps some people are getting like, hey, what is this? And then open it up and look at it. But as of right now, the TSA has approved it. But they have a caveat that they could take it back if they have to. Because obviously, they're like, this kind of looks like a bomb. But like, if you approve it, then some people will find a way. I don't mean to spread fear. I'm just saying, for people going to LA and now Florida, don't worry, you can bring your drinks back. Or I don't know, maybe empty it out. Or I think you can't take liquids on the plane anyway, so it's just an empty bottle to begin with. Or you could just, what I would do is just save, if you had to throw it out, at least save the bottle cap. Because I think the bottle is round, just like a Christmas bottle, when they used to do those Christmas ball sides. It's just the wrapper on it. Disney Plus. So we just spent a good 17 hours talking about Disney Plus. As you may or may not know, the Netherlands already have it because they're doing a testing with them. Because they will be getting it the same day as America and Canada.
Can I cut you off for a second?
Yeah, go ahead. I don't have the information right.
Gold member was right. Or no, Dr. Evil was right about the Dutch. Was it Austin Powers? Somebody in that movie was right about the Dutch.
Gold.
Who was it that didn't? No, it was Austin Powers' dad. He doesn't trust the Dutch. Yes. Yeah. You Dutch. I hate you all. I'm moving to the Netherlands for 2 months, by the way. I've got a flight. We're going.
So the Dutch have Disney Plus. It's like a testing thing because I guess they're going to be one of the first European countries to have it. Obviously, U.S. and Canada, they know it's going to be a hit. So they're testing it out. So they have it right now, which is awesome. But through different research, through, talking to people or just following trends of what people are talking about on the internet, the two big shows that everyone is excited for are The Simpsons and Star Wars Rebels, which is wild because Simpsons is like an institution and Star Wars Rebels is a relatively new show, so that's very, very excited. They're the most hotly anticipated of existing series on Disney. Now, this doesn't include any of the new stuff that's coming out. Mandalorian kind of doesn't fit in this study. Neither does Lady and the Tramp or any of the newer kids shows they're putting on it. Peer Analytics measured demand for content by capturing billions of data points from a variety of sources, tracing interactions it refers to as demand expressions, from the likes of social media, video streaming, photo sharing, blogging, fan and critic ratings, and file sharing. It combines these into a single country-specific measure of audience. So in U.S. and Canada, it's the top fives are The Simpsons, Star Wars Rebels, Mickey Mouse Club, DuckTales, and Ed Mac. The rundown is the same in Australia and New Zealand, with the exception of National Geographic's unscripted show Wicked Tuna in the 5th spot. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, Star Wars would appear on that, but for it to be Rebels is very exciting. Okay, again, it's existing, so perhaps if they did all of it at the time, Mandalorian might be a little bit higher. I don't know. So yeah, that's very, very cool that Simpsons and Rebels in the same sentence at one point.
Absolutely.
And in our final story, this is somewhat old. Battlefront 3. You know that game you're excited for? DICE's Dennis Branville recently spoke with PC Games, I think a week or two ago, with the possibility of Star Wars Battlefront sequel, and while he didn't shut the door on it, it's apparently not happening anytime soon. Sequels are probably still viable, or what he said was sequels are probably still viable, otherwise people wouldn't be doing them, but it's not the same hunger as it used to be, I don't know what sequels are amazing. I was gonna say Super Mario 2, but that's one of those divisive games where people are like, I don't like this game.
Well, there's 3 and World and Zelda, and those kind of. Look, I love Battlefront 1. I like Battlefront 2, but give me something new. You know what I mean? Like, give me something new, and then revisit that in a few years if you want. But right now, I think, we deserve. We're getting something new, but I think it's time. Move on.
He goes on to say, we were so used to the chain of sequels where we do a sequel, then we do a season pass for a year, then move on to the next game. I think the industry has changed on that. Before it was very transactional. So then you focus on getting value to players out of what they paid for, and if there's a system that wasn't working, then you put a pin in that and say, we will fix it in the sequel. This time around, we're not doing that way. So yeah, they're pointing out that, like, yeah, maybe we need something fresh and new. But like you said, it's like a Battlefront game will always be kind of in demand. It's when you look at the Call of Duty series, now they're going back to the Modern Warfare storyline after doing a couple things that weren't fan favorites. So it's like there's no reason they couldn't go back to it. But as we have been clamoring for about 2 years now, James, we're like, we need more Star Wars video games. So we've got Lost Order, right? What's the new one coming out?
Fallen Order.
Last Jedi, Last Order. And then I think there's a Lego Star Wars coming out for mobile. There's So for some reason, there's a Star Wars pinball game coming out for Switch. I don't know if you've been at EB recently, James, and saw that on the shelf.
Yeah, I saw that Fan Expo actually.
Oh, did you? There
yeah.
you go. And this has been your Hollow News.
Hollow News. So I was, while you were talking, I went online and I typed in Star Wars, and the very first thing that came up was the Rebels Simpsons thing that you read. And then the other thing on there, like randomly, was a new Star Wars theory makes a strong case for why Samuel L. Jackson will return as Mace Windu in Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, I didn't read that, but that's one of the reasons when you brought up Mace, I started like, oh, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, you saw it then?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay. I haven't seen it. I actually was not really reading it because you were talking, and so I was paying more attention to you. But they're just like, so it's some Redditor. Obviously, everything's Reddit now.
Yeah.
And I said I'm not gonna read these things anymore. But this is Mace Windu in the Rise of Skywalker, which probably won't happen. And we were just talking about it. So this is Reddit user Shakabra posted a theory saying, I propose that, blah, blah. He says that, or she says that no Jedi's ever died from Force lightning. The wounds from his hand getting chopped off, there was no blood, so he didn't bleed to death. No Jedi's ever been killed by Force lightning before or falling. So Anakin, and of course there's Luke Skywalker. Anyway, the addition. So he also goes on to say that due to the incredible resilience and fall damage of Jedi and Sith, there is no way, with that evidence in mind, that Mace Windu is dead. And then he goes on to say, I believe that he realized that he could not defeat both or of them, so he never came back. This is the last line, the most intriguing part of the entire theory, the idea that Windu, towering figure in his... So wait a minute. What? Wait, I don't get it. So what is this? You know what? Who is this? Esquire. This is on Esquire? This is clickbait. Yeah. This is just a clickbait article. It doesn't say he's going to be in, why he would show up in The Rise of Skywalker.
When I see an article about Star Wars on like Forbes or Esquire that doesn't have to do with like box office or something like that, I'm like, what is this?
Forbes is a joke. I'll say that right now. Esquire, this one's like this is like a hearty clickbait. I'm fine with that one. But Forbes is like, Solo is the worst Star Wars movie, and there's no evidence to support it in there. They just want to rile you up.
Even like a theories on like Vanity Fair would be weird to me. Like, I love photos and talking about the production of the movie, but like, I'd be like, what are we doing here?
They're articles. They're not like, that's what you stick to. Stick to what you do best.
Yeah.
Report things. All right, top 5.
Top 5.
Today's top 5 are brought to us by Side Scroller. I don't know where my copy is.
Oh, please be covered in cobwebs. Please be covered.
I don't know. It's it's over here. I can't reach it. Oh, have you got the Entertainment Weekly with The Mandalorian?
No.
I can't even find it. So I went for it. I went to go buy it, and I couldn't get it because it's just not available. So. Top 5 things we are excited for based off of the summer of our absence. It's been fun doing this again, Brock. It's been a hoot. We should do it again.
Oh, we should make a podcast.
We should make a podcast. I'll go first. Galaxy's Edge opening at Disney World. It's a little bit closer than Disneyland. I don't know if I'll be going there before Disneyland because of Star Wars Celebration next year, but I'm excited nonetheless. Rise of the Resistance ride. They've been releasing things slowly about that with Poe's new X-Wing and blah, yada, yada, yada. It's very exciting. Yeah. Everybody's saying that it's not a success, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about any of that. I don't have an investment in Disney. I don't have any stocks in them. All I care about is an experience. You and I, with Aaron, we went to Harry Potter Land in Hogwarts. I think we had a great time there. I did anyway. We got to try the butterbeer, which you thoroughly enjoyed. Yeah. I wish I got that pumpkin drink in the giant pumpkin bottle.
Yeah, I think I had that second time I went. It was pretty good.
Yeah, so I it's not even about being good. It's just about having. Like when you go there to have that crap. I'm like, well, let's have that. Let's get at it. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the experience for seeing what's up in Star Wars Land, and from people that I've spoken to who have gone individually and not, kind of jerky about it, they've all enjoyed it because it is Star Wars at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't like Star Wars, I get it, but it's just like,
Yeah.
I think Disney does a pretty decent job at making an entertaining day.
Eh.
Well, I had a fantastic time.
I love Disney. Everyone knows.
My number 5 is going to be the park as well, because it's sort
Nice.
of like we knew it was coming, but it was just exciting that it happened. And then announcement that like they'll get newer rides first, so like yay.
Yeah, totally cool. My number 4 is Kathleen Kennedy. This is my Obi-Wan. This is my Ewan McGregor impression. Don't Kathleen Kennedy. Can you ask me if I want to be Obi-Wan Kenobi again? Ewan, do you want to be Obi-Wan again? Yes. Hello there. He didn't say that, but that's what. That's my number 4. I think more than even just watching the damn show, it's everybody just shutting up about the show. That is like just I don't have to hear about why we need Obi-Wan Kenobi movie or show and why Ewan McGregor needs to play him. All of that's put to bed. Just give me this thing. Let's hope it's great. I still think they have the scripts all written. I still think those are all just they took the movie and just kind of expanded it into 8 episodes or whatever it is. So I'm excited for that. Let's see what it is. And I love Solo. Everyone knows I love Solo.
You got it.
Dollarama. Dude, I got them all at Dollarama. Range Troopers are $4. You go to Fan Expo, they're like 90, but I got them here. These kind of stories belong, just what I was saying, in the television world. They're books, they're TV, they're not theatrical, they're not event films. Stick them there. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah, my number 4 is kind of the Obi-Wan thing as well, like because that was just like when that came out and we were hopefully going to do an episode that week, it's like we should just play the audio.
Yeah.
Yes, and then the crowd goes wild. But there was a lot of cool things at D23. We need to go to D23 one year.
It's sold out super fast this year.
Yeah, but we should go. Like,
yeah, we should.
Between the two of us, I think we like everything they talk about there.
Especially this year. This year was nuts.
Yeah. My number 3 is gonna be the Mandalorian trailer. We got a little bit more. I will honestly say, seeing this trailer got me excited for the series. I was like, ooh, that looks awesome. And then hand in hand, we got some pictures from Entertainment Weekly. And he's fighting Trandoshan, so I'm like, ooh, but like that picture, I thought that it was action figures.
Everyone did.
I was like, this looks like action figures, but it was real people. So.
It was definitely the lens that they used. It was the lens kind of captured that moment.
Yeah, makes sense.
My number 3 is the Cassian Andor show. It's actually still happening, and it's Diego Luna and Andy Tudyk, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. We're going to see Mon Mothma, Saw Gerrera. Yeah, probably not Saw Gerrera, but are we going to see anybody like that? Like, who's going to? I mean, it probably will be Saw Gerrera because apparently Forrest Whitaker is up for anything you throw at him for this character. He just keeps coming back. He's in Jedi Fallen Order like forever. So I'm just excited to see what's going on with this movie. I love those characters. K2SO, I think part of my problem with him was he was almost too human, but part of what I loved about him was that he was almost too human. So I think I think it's just going to be really a lot of fun. And I'm kind of hoping that even though it's the Cassian Andor Untitled show, that they might be twisting it to like a buddy cop type show, where those two are like the buddies and they go out on their missions together. Like you said earlier, there's the Cassian K2SO comic where they meet, so we probably won't get that story, but I'm excited to see what adventures they go on.
It would just be neat to see more of the beginnings of the rebellion. You know what I mean? Yeah. So absolutely. I'd be down for that, especially if like there's flashbacks of him being a kid and him being an adult. That'd be kind of neat.
Oh yeah, and because this is on TV, you could do so much. Like,
yes,
it's a series. So anyway, we know how his story ends though. So that's both of them. So that's the tragic part. But what if K2 installs his brain, like his units into something else during the series, so after Rogue One he can come back?
Oh yeah.
All right, what's your number 3?
I did. My number 3 was
Mandalorian. How many have I done? Have I done too many?
No, you're good.
Okay.
I did number 3 first, Anita.
Oh, okay.
My number 2, Star Wars trailer, specifically Evil Rey, because I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, it was when we heard about it from people. So it was reported first. There was in the sizzle reel you see Rey with a double lighted red saber, and we're like, what? And then Disney was like, everyone will see it on Monday. Chill. And phenomenal. Just a great. And I still don't know, is that a sizzle reel? Is it a trailer? I don't know what it is. Apparently in front of It 2, it was playing in some theaters in front of It Chapter 2, which I still want to see. And I don't want to see. I'm very on the fence because I love the first one, but I hate horror. So I don't want to get scared. If you take away the Georgie scene in It, I love that movie. My number 2 is the Mandalorian trailer. It was cool. I didn't think it was mind blowing, but I thought it was cool. It was kind of like the Joker trailers where I'm like, it shows me that it is something that I'm going to be interested in. Yeah. It's not like the Rise of Skywalker is like, you're going to be excited. This one's like, just so you know, this is going to be this world. And so I don't think it's mind blowing, but I thought it was very well done. It looks phenomenal. It looks great. And it looks like it's going to be fun, but it looks like it's going to have a lot of story and heart. And that's what I thought was important for me in that trailer, was that it didn't the wow factor wasn't over the top, I didn't think. But it was cool. And I just want to say I'm still disappointed. Everybody knows the Black Series, IG-11 is getting a Black Series on Triple Force Friday. The laziest thing Hasbro could have done. Anyway, they already have IG. It's true. It's the same mold. Anyway, number 1, I'll just go first because you've already said it's the everything we saw from the Rise of Skywalker this summer. It's just it's made me want to see it more and more, and I'm anticipating. I'm probably going to take December 19th and 20th off from work so I could go so I can come down. Hopefully they'll have the pop-up shop downtown Toronto. And just have a good time celebrating Star Wars, the end of the Skywalker saga, and hopefully we can record a lot of shows, maybe even something live on location. Well, who knows? Who knows? What's your number 1, Brock?
My number 1 is the announcement that Canada will be getting Disney Plus in the States. That has captured my imagination for the last 6 months. I'm like, we need to get it. We need to get it.
I'll tell you, that wasn't on my list because when they first announced everything, it was reported that when they said America would get a Q1, it's a Canada would get a Q1, and Q1 is that date was the Q1 date, which was a lot of confusion. So even though it wasn't officially announced, it was still kind of,
they said it, but
it was, but it was yeah, exactly. So Q1 actually begins now. Is actually Q1, so that's why it was just when it became official, it was very exciting. It was because the Rebels thing that they screwed over with us, that really always makes me nervous. We'll probably still get the Mandalorian in June, but we'll get Darkwing Duck day 1, so I'm okay with that. If Goofy movie is on there, we're good. So we've got it. 134 episodes.
Wow.
It took a few months. We should actually probably be at 160 by now, but we're here. 134. It's been a lot of fun. We should do it again for sure.
Okay.
Guys, give us a like and subscribe. Thanks, Brock, for joining Rebel Scum. Thanks, James, for joining Rebel Scum. Thanks. I should wear them on my shoulder for the whole thing.
And not refer to it at all?
Just have them there the whole time. All right, this has been the episode. Thanks so much for watching. Give us a like and a subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your loved ones, and tell your worst enemies. And until next time, Brock, you were always scum.
And the force be with... Oh, Rebel Scum. I forgot what it was. I
don't even know what we're doing.
Hey, scumbags. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.